Great. Hi, everyone. I um I was actually planning on doing this at my home with Lord Snaggletooth, but my good friend Rodrigo tonight is teaching a workshop on dowsing, and I really want to go to that. I love dowsing, and I love my friend Rodrigo. So I'm here in a cafe right next to where his workshop is going to be, which means, sadly, Lord Snaggletooth is not with me tonight. And he was kind of upset with me when I left home tonight. So people are joining. Um, since it is, we have one more minute to 7. So I'm going to wait till 7 o'clock to start. Um, and um, and okay, it's 7 o'clock. We're going to start. So hello, everyone. I am a little spacey right now because, like, my angelic friends have been buzzing around all day. Um, it's sort of like having, a bunch of kids around you right before a birthday party. They were so excited, which surprised me because I'm not planning on channeling today. Usually if I do channeling on live feed, I like to have a person with me just to, like, so I'm not alone managing all the technology and this and that, and it's too much. Um, can everyone hear me okay? If you guys can hear me, can someone type in the comments like yes, or we hear you, or anything like that, just so I know that the sound is coming through. Um, I accidentally got lots of caps on there, but can you all hear me? Um, Yay! Okay, people can hear. Awesome. So tonight we want to talk about something that I have been thinking about and, like, working when I go into the Akashic records. I ask the guardians and the librarians about this, and I've asked, like, the Council of Light, which is the angelic realm, about. Um, so here's the situation: like, someone will be channeling, and like, say they're channeling angels, and the angels come through and they say, well, you understand, our beloved children, that your world is just a dream, it's an illusion, everything you think is your illusion. If you want a different life, imagine a different life, and there you go. And we're like, we're always imagining better lives, and then we wake up the same life, like, you know. And they're like, oh, yes, if you don't like something, then make it go away. And if you want something, just call it to you. And you don't need to worry about money. You don't need to worry about work. You don't need to worry about anything. And, and then as we're walking out of whatever center this channeling took place in, you hear people grumbling, that's all right for the angels. They don't have to pay bills. They don't have to get degrees. And, we all get a little, like, disjointed. But every time I've attended a channeling or I have channeled, the same message comes through. So there's obviously a disconnect between where those who are trying to help us say, all of this is a dream, all of this is an illusion. If you want something, dream it, and this will become part of your everyday illusion. And our receiving this information in an actionable way. Obviously, we feel physical. I've got enough scars and bruises on my body to know that I'm definitely physical. And, obviously we all dream. So, where is this disconnect? I went and spoke first with the librarians of the Akashic Records, and then I went and I talked with shamans, um, both shamans in the energetic and people who practice shamanic work. And I spoke with Father Joseph, Mother Mary about this. Um, Jesus was the ultimate manifester, so I talked with him and Mary Magdalene about it. Talked with the angels, and they all come up with the same message, which is we create our own realities based on several attributes. One is what challenges and lessons we created for ourselves for this life. So like if you need to learn humility, or if you need to learn absolute love, you're going to create challenges in your life that give you the lessons for whatever it is you need to learn. Now, you don't necessarily plan out your life in detail. Okay, first I do this, then I do this, then I do that. I mean, you might, but nothing ever goes according to plan. But odds are what you do is you say, I'm going to vaguely plan out this life path, and I'm going to attract people. I make a few full contracts, and I also like just attract a few people who will help me with these lessons I need to learn. And the more I resist learning the lesson, the more intense it becomes until I'm really learning this lesson. So we are attracting things into our lives that teach us this. So if you are learning humility and you end up in a job where you have a boss who's teaching you humility by humiliating you and treating you poorly, that's going to get more extreme until you say, I have learned the lesson of humility and I am ready for the lesson of standing within my personal power with a balanced ego, that my humbleness and my love and my joy of being who I am and all of this is in balance. I no longer need this lesson of humility. I got it. At that point, everything starts changing, and suddenly your boss is like, you know what? I really like the way you are these days. I'm going to give you a promotion, or like things just change, or someone else hires you out of the blue, and you're like, I never could have fathomed that this would happen. So in this way, you're creating your reality by learning your lesson and then moving forward. The other way that we can create our reality is by changing what we believe our reality to be. Like a lot of you know, I teach spoon bending classes, and the reason I teach it, one, it's fun. I mean, it's as people get a growing mound of mangled cutlery beside them, it's really fun. But we're also redefining reality. We are saying this very solid item that could be used to eat with and cook with and get washed for like 100 years without having any major dent in it, I'm going to tie it into a pretzel with no effort. This is redefining the reality as we see it. So these are two that I did today. I was talking with my very dear friend Amanda, and she is like such a beautiful, high vibrational person that the energy was just like so good. I had to like do something with my hands. Look at this. I love this fork. Look at what I did to this. And it was like no effort. I was just like, it was like no effort at all. And so if I believe that these are solid and cannot be bent, I'm not going to bend them. But when I believe that I can restructure them on a molecular level, I can do it. So I've dreamed a new dream. Nothing is set in stone. I'm studying small object levitation. Sometimes I get like something floating above my hand for a little while before I freak out going, oh my God, I'm doing it. And bam, it falls down. I am dreaming a different dream. I'm saying reality does not, while yes, I do believe in gravity, gravity is not the be all and end all. I get to have gravity and levitation when I accept that levitation is as powerful as gravity. I put a feather in my hand and I put my other hand over it and I draw it up by the air. And next thing you know, sometimes I don't even do the second hand. I just like hold the feather in and it goes up. As soon as I get better at that, I'll teach you all. I promise. So, what does this have to do with angels telling us our lives are a dream when we know they're real? And how do we use our understanding of this state to have the best life we could imagine having? So think about when you go to sleep at night and you dream and you wake up, you're like, oh my God, I had the craziest dream. And, this happened and it was like so real. Now, we're asleep while our dream self is having some sort of extraordinary experience. And our dream self thinks that they're awake. They think that this is the reality. Meanwhile, we're here awake or asleep. Our higher self is up there. We're just an extension, a small part of our higher self who's up there. So in a way, we are the dream of our higher self. Our higher self can call us back at, any time. Like, not necessarily like, oh, we died now because our higher self called us back. More like when you're sleeping, sometimes our higher selves will call us back for a little chat, a little powwow. How's it going down there? Are you learning your lessons? Like, an annoying older sibling, like checking in on us or, whatnot. So if our higher self says, I'm going to go to life, I need to work on whatever I need to work on. And then we chat with friends from the higher self realm. We're like, oh, I need to work on this. So let's like meet up and we'll work on it together. And someone else says, oh, like you need to learn humility. I need to learn being a jerk. So, or, whatever. So I'm going to be a jerk to you. You'll be humble. And then we'll both grow from it. Like we all have different lessons. We meet for different purposes. And then, you put your energy out there and we all know how magnetic we are. If I say, oh, I need to learn humility, even if I didn't plan on, say, these 5 people coming along and teaching me humility, they're going to feel my energy. They'll be drawn to it. And they're going to show up in my life and teach me humility. I may be very upset with these people while I'm in the moment, but you bet my higher self is up there like high-fiving their higher self. Awesome, we're getting our lessons going. Woo! So this is not that much different from us going to sleep at night and having these experiences that when we wake up in the morning, sometimes we're like, wow, you know what? I was really stressed about something that I have coming ahead of me, but I slept on it and now I got it all figured out. I'm feeling good about it and I'm ready to go. I don't even know what I dreamed. All I know is I feel good and I've got this solution in my head that I didn't have yesterday. So these are like, like the trickle down theory of the dream state sort of thing. I hope that makes sense. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate all the thumbs up. So, okay. The angels are like, I'm telling you, I am like, people who can see angels, I know you're having a good time looking through this screen right now. We are like full of them. And they're all like talking at once and they're not talking as a collective. So it's a little distracting sometimes. Okay, yeah. So but in a fun way, because the vibration is beautiful. So here's how we connect with angels. The angels, like, and I'm not talking about Bible stuff, like take or leave the Bible as a separate thing. I'm talking about angels on our soul contract relationship to them. The angels, and we are like very similar when we're in our pure states. When we're in our pure states, when we're our higher selves, we are beings of pure light and love. We're eternal beings. Understand that. Like, that's a simple statement to make, but it's a really big concept to take in. That who I am in this life, who each of us is in this life, is not who we were in our past life. And we are not who we will be in our next life. We might not even be humans in our next life. We can be, I've lived some lives as animals. I have friends who have lived lives sometimes in the angelic realm, or, they're not even humans to begin with. They're just spending a few lives as humans to like learn lessons to take back to their regular lives. Like, none of us are who we were or who we will be. But we are all a small extension of our higher self. Our higher selves are beings of pure light, love, intelligence, humor. Our higher selves are like pretty awesome. They are eternal beings, pretty much. If you wish to like destroy yourself and like join, or if you wish to like join, like become one with everything, that's a choice. But our higher selves don't necessarily like age and die the way we do when we're in the physical. How is that different from the angels? The way we're different from the angels is our vibrational frequencies. Those of the angelic realm have a very high vibrational frequency filled with love, joy. They're like really high up there. We've got a pretty wide variety of vibrational frequencies. We have emotions that the angels can't even get close to. But everyone's in evolution. The angels are, we are. That's why we team together in this like symbiotic relationship, because the angels are trying to expand their emotional state. They can't lower their vibrational being because they're just a high frequency. That would be like fairies lowering their vibrational being. It's not going to happen. If an angel lowers their vibration, they become another being. That's just the way it is. We're trying to raise our vibrations, right? We already got it pretty wide. Let's see if we can get it high, So we team with the angels. They're trying to get broader range at a high rate, high level. We're trying to get higher level while maintaining our broad, extension. So that's why we have guardian angels, because they are working with us while we're in life. The more you use your guardian angel, the more you're helping your angel broaden his or her or its vibrational frequency. And because they're in their energetic state, they share their knowledge collectively. So every time you use your guardian angel, you're not being selfish, you're not cheating. You're actually helping the entire angelic realm as they're in their growth and ability. So they're always begging, please, please use us. Meanwhile, when we connect with our angels, we're raising our vibration. When you're like walking with all angry, I'm in a bad mood, I'm depressed, whatever, it's hard to tap into your angel. But when you tap into your angel, it naturally makes your life flow better. Makes things just happen in easier alignment. It brings more joy to your being. And even if you're like, well, yeah, but I'm in a really bad situation, you still can connect with your angel and raise your energy, raise your spirit. You don't have to wait till everything's good to connect with your angel. Think about it. We would never connect with our angels because we've always got something. Even when we got nothing to be upset about, we're people. We make things up to be upset about. And but when we connect with our angels, they remind us how blessed we are, just to exist. So this is why the angels tell us that our real lives are dreams. Because while we're one life, one element of an eternal being, they are the eternal beings, and they're in connection with our higher self. They hang out. Like my guardian angel and my higher self, they hang out together. They know each other. My guardian angel knows more about my higher self than I do. My guardian angel knows my eternal name, my eternal vibration. And then I come along and talk to my angel. My angel's like, well, yes, you are a dream extension of the true you. Like, well, from their perspective, that makes sense. Now, from my perspective, I'm 3D, I'm real. I feel like my higher self is more the dream, the illusion, because it's energetic. And to me, dreams and emotions are energetic. So it's the natural way of thinking that something that's solid, 3D, and real is going to be more real than something that's energetic or emotional, because energetic, emotional things come and go. Anyone who's ever broken up with the love of their life knows that. Anyone who's ever said, this is the best, and then you realize, oh, it's not the best. Or anyone who says, oh my God, the worst thing is happening to me. And then they're like, oh, it's not that bad. Our emotions can change. So we think, okay, something that's 3D, solid, and real, like my alarm clock goes off every single morning and I get out of bed. That's real. That's real because I set the alarm and I chose that this becomes my reality. I can change it when I want. And as I mentioned, this literally, I love this. I love this. I love mangling silverware. And I love it when people watch me do it because they're like, we'll do another online silverware spoon bending class soon because I love it so much. By taking something as solid as this, just today, and bending it up like this, and I'll tell you, like, I can't unbend it. I'm like, this is solid now because I don't have my energy in it. This is redefining reality. If I can redefine this reality, I can redefine any reality. So if I'm going to redefine reality, then I'm going to understand my reality isn't real. It's me and my intentions that are real. I want to get back to that for a moment. I want to stay there. Reality is only as I define it to be. My reality connects with other people and their reality. So we have times where they cross and hit each other. So I might say my reality is one where everyone exists in a state of love and kindness. And as many of you know, I do a lot of advocacy for equal rights for special needs youth, because a lot of special needs youth are not seen for the amazing people they are, and they're definitely not always treated well in our society. So I exist in a state of love and manifestation, and then I go and work with people who exist in a state of anger or fear or denial, or I also work with people who exist in a state of bureaucracy. We need more paperwork. We have rules and regulations. I do not love bureaucracy, and I do not love paperwork. But someone else's reality created it. So I have to acknowledge it if I wish to have my reality mesh with that other person. Sometimes when I work with someone, say, who's in a state of fear, we can merge our realities to the point where they can release fear and open up to see if maybe love and kindness and acceptance is a good way to be. Sometimes they show me things that I otherwise would not have been aware of. So by respecting the reality they create and respecting myself and the reality that I create, if I'm going to mix with someone else, we have to respect each other's realities and see where they can cross over, and then see how we wish to possibly redefine our personal reality. If I don't want to work with this person and I don't want to work with their reality, here's where the angels talk about redefining our reality on a much higher level. Since, again, I'm going to hold this up. I love this. I have shown that I can make reality work the way I want it to, just by thinking differently. So if I want, say, global reality to change, I need to really think differently. If I want to bring more love to our planet, especially to all the places right now that need a lot of love, I need to really accept in my mind 100%, and in my heart and in my ego and in my core being, that I, just by sending love to these places, can do that. But if someone does not wish to absorb love, you can't force it. You can't make anyone love you, and you can't make anyone feel good if they're determined to feel bad. But if there's anyone out there who's looking for love, it will flow into them. Why? Because I believe I have defined my reality to say, I can do this. It's a very big thing. Each of us, actually, every person on the planet has the ability to do this. The way I do, and I'm still a work in progress, I am by no means the ultimate reality redefiner. I'm sort of teaching you as I'm learning. But the way I do this is I work with my ego. When you think about this, people are always like, oh, my ego. Oh, that person has such an ego. Oh, I try to avoid my ego. If ego is in you, if it's a part of you, it's there for a reason. And that reason is not a bad reason. That reason is because ego is a part of who we are. And a long time ago, people used to know how to work with our ego. The ego is like your support system. The ego helps you to manifest, to create a new reality by always letting you know, by pointing out where you need healing, where you need help. So here's an example for me that the angels taught this to me, a year or two ago. So I will say, I wish to manifest a fun adventure into my life. I wish to have something really awesome come in that will bring me a lot of joy and will make everything in my life even better. So I will put this out there. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I'll hear a little voice saying, no, you won't. You're not going to do this. You're terrible. You're really awful. You can't do this. It's not going to happen. I'll be like, no, my ego, no, my ego's trying to drag me down. Ego's not dragging me down. Ego is letting me know that I have self-doubt in the back of my mind. So I'll say, well, thank you, ego, for pointing that out. Why do I think I can't do this? Why am I putting weight of disrespect on my wonderful wish? A wish that won't hurt anyone, it will just bring joy. And somewhere in the back of my mind, I'll hear, you don't deserve a great adventure. You don't deserve all this good joy. I'll go, wow, why do I feel like I don't deserve that? And we'll go in, we'll have a little conversation till we come down to why this is. Ego will lead me to what needs to be healed. And then I will heal this. You can only ever manifest on your lowest level. Just like all relationships can only exist on the lowest common denominator. If one person is like, I love you, and the other person is like, you're not that great for me, you'll never have the great, relationship. It's the same with ego. Ego will always point out the lowest level within you that's getting in your way of dreaming the reality that you want, of being your best self. So always thank your ego and look at what needs healing. And you know what? That's like such a big subject. I'm going to be doing these regularly. We'll do a whole section on that because once you and your ego start pulling together as a team, and ego helps you heal everything within you that needs to be healed, it is so much easier to create the reality that you want. So, okay, sorry, I got a little sidetracked by that, and the angels are like, yeah. Okay, so the angels want me to tell you, they are always here to help. Okay, they're trying to sort of help with my words. So they're always here to help. And that's like part of what they do. They help us, and by helping us, it helps them. Just like, when you have a child who wants to go across the monkey bars, and you help them and you hold them up as they're going across, and it makes you feel good. You get to laugh, you have a good time, and you remember what it's like to have that childish joy. The angels help us, and we help the angels. Part of our goal with all these lives we're living, with our incarnation process, is to try to get our vibration higher and higher and higher. Now, that doesn't mean every life you live will be a higher vibration than the past life. It just means that because sometimes you want to go back and take care of something, or, the lessons we need to learn. It doesn't, there are some people that you'll meet who are like angry, crazy, homeless people who are actually very divine beings. So it's important to respect everyone and look at people for who they are on a soul level, not just on the outside. But the angels that are helping us, since they're energetic and they hang out with our higher selves, they hang out with all our higher selves, and they hang out with all the other light beings and the aliens and the ascended masters and everyone else, they know how to help us make our lives what we want. If you want more joy in your life, if you want to raise your vibration, or if you want to become a great poet, or whatever your heart is calling for, who better to help you than the angel? And they will always tell us that our lives are a dream, because they're here to help us redefine our lives, to make our lives a better dream. Dream a bigger dream. I got some little angels here singing the song "Dream a Little Dream of Me." They're like having a lot of fun. If anyone has any questions at any point, please feel welcome to type them in. I see we have a few comments, but I think that's just people who said hello. Because I know I talk fast. They're like sending so much information through me. If you're confused on any point, you can type it in and we'll address it. We have another, like, I guess about 10 minutes or so. Um, so, yeah, 10 minutes unless, we're into something. So, how to really dream the lives we want. The easiest way for me, there's a lot of different ways. If you have any way that works for you, certainly use it. And if there's anything you want to share, you're welcome to, type it into the comments for any, if you want to share it with the public. For me, the easiest way is I make myself feel energetically hollow. I relax my feet so that my root chakra is all connected to earth. And I relax the top of my head so my crown chakra is open. And then I just let the energy flow through. I don't actually even worry about the individual chakras inside myself because energy will flow. I mean, look at any river flowing. If you get a big boulder in the way, it'll flow over or around the river. So I'm not going to worry about blocks in my chakras. I'm just going to let my root chakra grow, let my crown chakra open, let the energy just flow like a waterfall going through me. Like within 2 minutes, I feel like I've had a full level soul cleansing. I feel relaxed. My whole body feels light. And, I'm always into the low maintenance, high energy, quick fixes. So I will let myself feel very empty and just like energy flowing. And I will open up and I will, you know, it's always good to set like a little energetic protection. So I will say, anyone out there who cares about my highest good, my best well-being, anyone who brings goodness for me, for my home, for my family, is welcome in this space. And anyone who exists below that frequency can stay away. It doesn't have to be exactly those words, but you get the intention. You're letting them know that the vibration, and sometimes I'll even say, you know what, today the vibration of angels on up. You're welcome to come and bring me love and joy and blessing. And, anyone else, you can stay away. You're not needed for now. And so I know that I'm safe. I'm not worrying about any little bugaboos coming along and messing with things. I will open up. Yes, thank you, Hendrik. I will open up and I'll say, who wants to come in and chat with me? Who wants to help me? Who wants to be here for me? I don't feel guilty about inviting eternal light beings to come in and help me. I mean, if they didn't want to help me, they wouldn't show up, right? So I'm like, who wants to be here for me? Now, here's the thing. This is the moment when most people get all the self-doubt because you never know how they'll show up. You never know how they'll present themselves. You might just get a random thought in your mind. You might have lucid vision. You might hear something. You might get an instant knowing. However the information shows up, however a connection shows up, just accept it the way it's offered and thank it and say, and what else? What else? Who else? Who's out there? I'll tell you, I get some pretty awesome beings coming through. I do this every morning when I wake up. I do this several times throughout the day because it just takes a few moments and it's nice to just like keep that connection going. Sometimes I'm like, wow, some extraordinary like archangel or the master or someone is there. Sometimes it'll be like a coyote or a bunny rabbit or even a flower. I'm like, wow, earth energy is coming here for me today. I have a flower. This is wonderful. Why is there a flower here for me today? Why do I have an earthworm today? It's, whoever comes forward is there for a reason. And we've already expressed that this reason is going to be very high vibration and very helpful for whatever it is that we're doing at the moment. So accept it. Sometimes for me, all I hear is like a name in the back of my head. You know, I'll be like, oh wow, who wants to come in for me today? And I hear white shell woman. I'm like, white shell woman, you don't usually jump in first. Are you sure? Did I miss anyone? She'll be like, no, I'm here first. Okay. So what are we going to do today? What's going on? What do you want to do with me? What do you want to do for me? Is there anything you want me to do for you? And I wait for the random thought to appear in the back of my mind. Whatever comes in whatever way, shape, or form, I accept it absolutely and completely. That is really the most difficult part of this. Because all of us are like, oh yes, I'm fine with projecting out, but I'm not good with accepting because we're all too, humble and self-doubting. Oh, who am I to think, so-and-so is coming here for me? Just accept it and love it and see what else happens, because it's always going to be good. If you want to work with the angels on redefining your reality, understand they will always call our reality a dream. Because to them, this life that is only one of many lives that they know us as, it's a dream. But for them, a dream and reality are not as different as we think of it as. We think dream, reality, totally different. They think dream, reality. So, our reality is their dream. Let them dream a better dream for us. And remember again, everything that happens in this life is part of accrued lessons for our eternal being. When I die in this life, I'm going to return to my higher self. I'm still going to be me, Bonita. Bonita doesn't go away, but Bonita will be one aspect of my higher self. I will be like a collective of my higher self and all the lives I've lived, together. Like we are our own collective. So who am I to say that this life is real when my higher self and all of my past lives are all there hanging out together as a collective, and they're like, watching over me, doing their own thing. So am I their dream? Are they my dream? This is why the angels see dream and reality as self-supporting, symbiotic. I hope that makes sense to you all. And really, the more we learn to play with reality, the more we learn to alter reality, the more we learn just how dreamy it is. People who do energetic healing, Reiki, and I do PranaShakthi, and when we do this, energy is flowing through us into someone else. Or, sometimes someone will call me and they'll say, Bonita, can you send me some energy right now to whatever? And I will be on the phone with them and I'm like, okay, go relax. I put my hands on a pillow, or I just imagine that I am sending healing energy to them. I might do some etheric surgery. I may call some guides to go in and really look at, in my imagination, look at what I think is wrong with them and heal it. Sometimes what I see that needs to be healed is not what they told me needs to be healed. And then when we get back on the phone and we're talking, I'll say, well, I also saw this. And they're like, oh, I didn't want to bother you with that. I'm like, well, that's actually the origin of the issue you called out. So, what's reality? What's a dream? I one time was hiking with a friend, and I kept seeing this like mass of red and black energy on his side. And finally, I'm like, what's going on? I said, oh yeah, I fell off a ladder earlier today, and I kind of hurt the small of my back, but I'm fine. Like, no, you need to go to the emergency room now. Go to urgent care right now. I said, it's not your back, it's right here. And he said, oh no, this is fine. Nothing happened there. I've got a little bruise, but it's okay. He went to urgent care because I was adamant. And yes, we will let our angels dream a wonderful dream for us. Thank you, Sylvia. He got it x-rayed, and he had cracked his ribs, and he had one splinter of his ribs that was like getting ready to poke his lungs or something. And they're like, man, if you hadn't have, like, we never would have caught this if you hadn't have insisted we x-ray you. If we hadn't have taken care of this, you probably, would have had a really bad situation. Where's reality? Where's the dream? The energy of his body told me that there was something there. I'm so glad he listened to me. He looked into it. If he had waited for physical reality to tell him, nothing would have happened. So we can accept that there's energetic healing. We can accept there's telepathy. These have all been proven. Again, we can accept. I'm sorry, I'm in love with this fork that I mangled today. It was just like melting in my hands. So we can accept that we can like totally spoon bend. And I do have a few spoon bending classes coming up, one in March, one in April, one in May in Burke, Warrenton, Springfield area, and Manassas. So if you look at my meetup, you'll see them. I know that's just such a dreamy plug for my work. So these things happen. It's very easy to accept that these things happen because we see them happen. It's much easier for most people to accept that others can do it because we don't necessarily want to do the work on ourselves to do it ourselves. But the more and what I mean by that is some people, don't want to meditate every day. Some people don't want to like clear out their chakra. Like, it's a little bit of work, just like any skill set. Just like some people like to take out every meal because they don't want to cook, or some people make their own clothing. Some people buy clothing already made. Like, it's not a better or worse person. It's just, where do you want to put your time for each day? Where do you want to put your energy and your focus? If you do not want to put your focus in becoming a divine conduit like I am, then don't. You're putting your focus elsewhere, and that's fine. You're probably doing things that I'm like, wow, I wish I could do that. It's all where we want to put our energy. But each and every one of us should definitely put energy into feeling good about ourselves. For some of us, we may have contracted to have like, chronic depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, things that are hard. And some of us have had like rough upbringings, or some of us are just in rough times in our lives. But we can still learn to work with our angels, to heal ourselves, and live the best dream we can. I'm sure some of you know the amazing movie Life is Beautiful by Roberto Benigni, about this fellow in World War II who was in a concentration camp and managed to like hide his son and protect him, and taught him that, that this was all a game. And of course, that was Roberto's childhood, and he made this amazing movie. His father died in the concentration camp. So his constantly seeing the best and most beautiful out of life, even when he lost everything, his wife died, he's in a concentration camp trying to keep his son safe, and then he died. at the hands of Nazis. They're like, what does he have to feel good about? What he taught his son was extraordinary. And then his son went and made this movie that, won Academy Awards and changed a lot of people's lives. So yeah, even if we're having a rough time, we can still dream our best dreams and fill ourselves with love, because we never know what will come of it. And what I was saying before about how one person can impact the world, this is a time on the planet when it's important that we raise the planet's vibration, that we fill the planet with love. Several months ago, I was in a session at Intuitive Wellness Center, and I was channeling the librarians of the Akashic Record, and librarians and guardians, and they were talking about the future for Earth, what's coming next, and the importance of people actively working on raising the planet's vibration. People were arguing with them. It's too hard. I'm only one person. I can't do it. They're getting really frustrated. So, but they understood, like the arguments were valid. So they said, we're going to get someone. The next thing you know, Jesus came through, and Jesus was telling them how he was a person going through an incarnation like everyone else, and yet he filled the planet with love and healing, because that was his wish for the planet. And it was so pure within him that he created a mandala of love around our planet. I do have that on video. I haven't gotten it on YouTube yet. Sorry, there's a lot of editing to be done. And it's really hard to videotape Jesus. It was really overwhelmed my recording devices. And the next day, my entire back had, that night, my whole back had this heat rash and blisters on it from the energy. So, but he was saying he was one person who chose an incarnation where he could help the planet. And as one person, just like any one of us, he had such belief that he could heal the planet. He did. And I'll tell you, he was very clear that every single person on this planet has the same skill and ability. It's just a matter of truly developing some technical skills for sure, and having the belief. But if each of us came together, heals ourselves, and believes that we can send out love to heal the planet, just think how powerful it will be when all of us and our love is flowing out there. This is why it's even more important that we work with our angelic guides. Why we don't think about them as of the Bible, but think of them as our friends who are here to help us. When you let your angel help you heal yourself, your guardian angel, your angelic friends, heal yourself, feel good about yourself, and send your love out, then your energy connects with the energy of the other people doing that exact same thing. And then our energy can connect with that of a Tibetan monk, with, all the people out there who are already sending love and healing energy. And we magnify that by the power of the angelic realm and all the light beings. We can have an impact. We can create a beautiful planet. This is what the angels are talking about when they say that our lives are a dream, because they're asking us to dream a better dream and to let them help. Okay. So yeah, I'm looking at the time. Thank you all. That's the messages they wanted to get through. And my love to you. This will be available to watch here, and I'll load it on my YouTube page, which is Bonita Woods. Um, and I have like 200 videos on YouTube. So I just wanted to let you know the angels and the librarians and guardians of the Akashic Records and even Jesus, which kind of freaks me out a bit, but it's like, just wait, it's awesome. He's like such a cool kind of little, you know, outspoken fellow. Um, they want me to go more into social media. So like once a week, I'm going to do a longer YouTube channel, like about an hour on YouTube. And once a week, I'll do like a half hour on Facebook. We're still working out the schedules. We're still getting there. But until I get this worked out, we're going to start with Facebook um, and then we'll go from there. So I'll post on my meetup calendar and on my Facebook events how often I'll be on here like once a week because they have like a backlog of stuff they want me to talk about. And sometimes I'll do direct channeling. Um, so feel welcome to send me questions or subjects you're interested in, and I'll tap in and get some answers. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Love you. And I look forward to our next connection. Bye. Me all big up. Up. Okay. Thank you. Love you. Bye.